Alright guys, I was messing around today. Wanted to add some rounds to my mag, and keep it reliable. So what I ended up with, you'll see this aluminum plate here. Don't worry about that. You don't got to do that. The only reason that's like that is because I actually messed up. So I'm going to make this video, make it to where you guys take the guesswork out of it for you. So what you're going to do to the follower is you're going to cut 3/30 seconds off the top of the follower right there, okay? So you're just going to trim the top down 3/30 seconds. You don't, I mean, if you wanted to make something like that, you could. I don't know if you think it's cool or something. That wasn't intentional. I just did that because I cut it too far and I needed to get it back. I didn't want to have to wait on ordering one. And only $2 if you do mess up. No big deal. The other part that you'll cut is right here along this edge. You see this line here. There's a little lip right there. I don't know if you can see it, but you're going to cut that off right there. You're going to trim it down, cut it off, however you want to do it. So you'll cut from the bottom. You'll cut that off right flush with that line. 3/30 seconds off the top, and you're done with your follower. Then you're going to modify your floor plate pin, and you're going to cut it down to 3/4 of an inch. You can see the difference here. Quite a bit. Alright? Quite a bit off. This is going to be 3/4 of an inch long total. That's how long it's going to be. You're going to reshape this, give it a nice cone shape to it. Doesn't have to be anything super fancy, just so that the spring slides over it nice like it's supposed to. Alright, now here's your factory floor plate. This is what it looks like normally. And then when you set your pin in there, notice how high up this machine lip is right here. And that's what your spring sets on. Okay, and you can see this here. So what I did when I modified my floor plate is I dremeled out this hole here. Sunk my pin down in. You'll also have to take some sandpaper, go around a scribe or whatever you got, shove it in there, open this up because this hole here is tapered. So once you actually countersink this down and you get it to where the pin is sunk down in there, now the bottom of it here won't fit in that hole anymore because this hole's tapered. So you open that up. Not hard, takes a couple seconds. You set your pin in, you got it down to 3/4 of an inch. Now you see it's setting flush with this part, whereas before it was way up. So that's how you'll know when you have it far enough. It'll be right there flush with this, okay, your machine lip there. What that's doing is it's bringing that lip down and it's giving more room for the spring to compress. So a lot of guys cut those springs. I've seen guys cut the springs off and make the spring shorter because they didn't have enough space to get the 12th round in. I didn't want to do that, so I didn't want to cut my spring up. And then you also can tell when you got it far enough because it'll be sitting there just a little bit of a bump out on the bottom of it, just a little bit. I mean, it's pretty much flush. Mine's bumped out just a pinch. That's how you'll know that you got that dremeled open enough and sunk down in there enough. And this part here is simply just to give the spring more room to compress, to let the follower come down farther. Alright, and then what I had found out is I got that done. I thought, cool, put it all together, and what had happened was the 11th round went in, fired the 11th round, and then my follower button came up too high and hits the bolt lock bar. So, and it locked my bolt, and I got one round set in there. So the gun thinks it's empty, but it's not. It still has another round in there. So what I had to do to compensate for that was I had to modify the follower button. And you'll see here, you're basically going to cut it right in half. Okay, see that? I'm basically going to cut that, grind it down right in half. Now don't hit this guy. Don't hit that part right there. You see, you don't want to hit that. So that's where it's riding at on your. That's what's holding it on the slide here on your mag. So don't hit that and you'll be fine. No big deal. Just cut it right in half. Boom. And that's all the modifications you need for 12 rounds and perfectly function 2245 mag. So put it together. Show you what we got here. Slide the follower in. Drop the follower button in. Now, I hate springs, and when you make this floor plate spring shorter, it makes it even harder to fight this spring. That's really the only thing that is a pain in the butt. So, I'm going to slide our spring in there. If I have to go off camera to get this spring in, I apologize. But it's a pain in the butt sometimes. For me, at least. I hate these springs. I hate all springs. Alright, I'm going to have to come off camera for a second. All I'm doing is just getting this spring in there. I just need to use my body to kind of help myself guide this thing down in. So I can't really do that with the camera setting where it's setting. Alright, so we got that in there. Now we're going to put our floor plate on. Maybe. Alright. Got it. So now the reason we cut that, when you cut this, what I'm going to do, this needs to be perfectly flat, straight across, perfectly flat, okay? I'm going to put a little drop of epoxy right here in this hole. Alright, and then I'm going to set this together, and I'm going to, just so it'll hold this flat, okay? Now I understand I won't be able to just take my follower out, but I'll still be able to pop this off, I'll be able to pull the spring out, and I'll be able to slide this back and forth and spray all the blaster in there I need to clean this mag. If I absolutely have to take this follower out, it's junk anyways, obviously. But if I just put a little drop of epoxy, it'll hold it nice and flat, and if I ever need to take it apart, I just come around the backside with a punch, smack it one good smack, and it's going to fall right out. I mean, a little drop of epoxy, no big deal, and it'll hold it nice and flat, and I don't have to worry about it turning. And I made this little guy here, nothing special, my own little loader thing. Nothing great, but it was free, so that's how I like it. Nice, easy to make, free. So let's load this mag up, find our bullets here, and that's all there is to it. It's really pretty simple, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, 12 rounds, guys. There it is. 12 round mag, 2245. Some of you might want to see it function. I'm not going to spray 12 rounds out here on my counter. Obviously, eject 12 rounds, but your biggest problem to know that it's working or not is just going from the 11th round to the 12th round and this not hitting your lock. So, I mean, nothing else changes. So that's the only real concern that you have once you got them all fitted in there. So we can just slide this in there and we'll act like we just fired off 10 bullets. Go ahead and check it, make sure it's empty. Empty. Alright, so we'll act like, set this nice and flat. So we shot our 10th bullet, comes back, grabs the 11. There's 11. 11's in there, 11's gone. 12. Boom. 12's gone. Bolt's back, locked, just like it's supposed to. Functioning perfect. Okay, so that's it, man. I mean, that's all there is to it. That's 12 rounds. Everything works just like it did before. I mean, there's no reason not to do it. You get 2 extra shots. All right, thanks, guys.